All right, let's talk about something they definitely don't teach you in school, the real principles of building wealth. We're going to do it through a simple story that holds 5 incredibly powerful lessons. So let's jump right in. I mean, have you ever felt that? You're putting in the hours, you're working hard, but you look at your bank account and nothing's really changing. It's so frustrating. Well, that's exactly where the hero of our story, a guy named Sam, finds himself. So let's meet Sam. He's 27 years old, and for the last 5 years, he's had a pretty decent job. But the problem is, he feels like he's just spinning his wheels, stuck in this loop where his life just isn't improving financially, no matter what he does. Okay, so one day, he's just walking, completely lost in his thoughts about all this, and he finds himself in front of this grand, beautiful mansion. And on a total whim, a bold move, he decides to walk through the gates. Little did he know, that one decision was about to change his life forever. So he goes inside, probably feeling a little nervous, and he meets the owner of the mansion, a man named Mr. Hayes. And instead of being kicked out, Mr. Hayes is surprisingly kind and welcomes him in. This is where Sam just lays it all out there. He tells Mr. Hayes about his frustration, how he's been working for 5 years but feels completely trapped financially. And then he asks this really honest, direct question, a question I think a lot of us have wondered at some point. And you know what? Mr. Hayes doesn't laugh. He actually tells Sam that, yeah, building wealth is absolutely possible for anyone. He says he's got 5 foundational principles, the kind of stuff they just don't teach in school, that will show him the way. So here they are, the 5 core steps that Mr. Hayes shared. Think of it as a roadmap. Let's walk through each one. All right, principle number 1. This is the bedrock, the absolute foundation of everything else. It sounds so simple, but it's completely non-negotiable. You have to spend less than you earn. If you don't, none of the other steps even matter. It's literally impossible to move forward. So Mr. Hayes doesn't just leave it at that. He gives Sam a concrete example. He says, look, if you make, say, $5,000 a month, you need to be setting aside at least $2,000 of it. And this isn't about being a cheapskate, right? It's about being deliberate and creating that gap on purpose. Okay, so you're creating that gap. You're saving money. What do you do with it first? That brings us to principle number 2, building a buffer, an emergency fund. This is all about preparing for life's curveballs. Because let's be real, life is unpredictable, right? The car breaks down, the roof starts leaking, you get an unexpected bill, you name it. This emergency fund is your financial safety net. It's what turns a potential catastrophe into just an inconvenience. So, let's recap. You're spending less than you earn. Check. You've built up your safety net. Check. So now what? Now it's time to invest. But where? And this is where Mr. Hayes' 3rd principle might surprise you. He says the absolute best investment you can make is in yourself. Think about it. Forget stocks for a second. The single greatest return on investment comes from making yourself more valuable, whether that's taking a course, getting better tools for your trade, or just mastering your craft. Investing in your own skills is where the real power is. And this flows perfectly into principle number 4. Once you've invested in yourself and you've become more skilled, more valuable, well, the next logical step is to start earning more money because of it. But here's the key, and it's a huge mindset shift. It's about moving away from getting paid for your time, like an hourly wage, and moving towards getting paid for your results, what you produce. When you do that, your income isn't capped by the number of hours in a day. It's tied to how good you are and how hard you work. And finally, we get to the whole point of this, right? Principle number 5, create passive income. This is the real wealth building stage. After you've mastered the first 4 steps, you'll have extra money. And now it's time to put that money to work for you. We're talking about buying things, assets, that make you money even when you're not actively working. Things like rental properties or a small business. The goal here is to build streams of income that flow to you automatically, whether you're working, sleeping, or on vacation. So you can imagine, after hearing all this, Sam's world is totally rocked. He finally sees it. This conversation didn't just give him advice. It gave him the one thing he was desperately missing, a clear, actionable path forward. And here's the big aha moment for Sam. He realized that building wealth isn't some random thing that just happens to lucky people. No, it's a strategy. It's a system. He went from just vaguely hoping for a better future to actually knowing how to build one. So Sam left that mansion with a game plan. Now the question is, What about you? We've just walked through these 5 powerful principles: spend less than you earn, build that emergency fund, invest in yourself, increase what you earn, and then create passive income. So take a second and think, what's going to be your first step?